All right. So we're still a little bit early, so I'll try to wait. There's like a few minutes. A couple things I did want to mention before we get rolling. I sent out. I know a lot of you on the Facebook group are on the email list, so I did send out an email yesterday or the day before, letting everybody know about this and about the one on YouTube as well. If you didn't get that email, a lot of people have been having problems with it going in their spam, so check your spam. If it's in there, drag it over so you actually get my emails. I'll try to send out, not too often, but I'll try to send out, when these things are happening. Thanks for the heart. And everything, so that everybody knows, just in case the times change or anything. I'll try to keep it fairly consistent, but yeah, just check your spam is my main thing there if you're on the email list and you didn't see it. What else? Oh yes, on that email also was about the book. I am working on adding to, refining to the book and everything. I also am probably going to increase the cost when that new version comes out, just to kind of cover costs a little bit better as well. So if you're on that newsletter list and you wanted to use the coupon, make sure you use it before Earth Day, because I think that's when everything's gonna change a bit. So I just wanted to point that out too. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, there is a wash and care handbook. You can read about it, read the first chapter and everything on the website. I think it's on like the right side where the mom and baby are looking at an iPad. Click that button and there's a bunch of info there. Yeah, that's my housekeeping. That's all I've got. So right now I'm just waiting for questions. So who has questions? I am eager to answer anything and everything. If you have your wash sheet, we can go over that for sure. Just give me the specs and I'll put them in here, because that comment section stinks and I wish there was some way I could make it better. I'll Google later and try to figure out how to do that better, because I had a lot of fun here last week or 2 weeks ago. So if this works for people, I'll keep doing it. Like, I'm sold. Yeah, so that's my spiel. Does anybody have any questions? I'm not seeing anything yet, but there might be a delay. So just keep that in mind. If you've already typed something in, give me a few minutes to see it, and then I should be able to start answering. Here we go. Thank you. Again, I don't know your name, so I really apologize if I'd like to know names so I can put people in my mind, but it's not showing me anything. Okay, so first question. Been using cloth for 4 months. My son is now 14, 15 months, and I'm not sure why he started to leak out in the afternoons. So he's 14, 15 months, so he's now a toddler, so his output is a lot more. So usually you have to boost, you're gonna boost your inserts probably 2 key times that are like most kids need extra inserts at this time, around 8-9 months and around 12 to 15 months. It's possible that he just hit that boosting time. There's a lot of causes of leaks though. Are we talking about at daytime, at nighttime? Are we talking about the legs? Are we talking about the top? There's kind of a lot that could be going on, but my first impression is that it's probably just he needs more absorbency. If you have no smells or anything going on, then, no problems wash-wise. That's probably the most common reason. Other than that, by now you have fit nails. Yeah, that's probably why. But if I'm totally off base and you're like, I'm stuffing the diaper like crazy, just hit me back with another comment and I'll come back to it. I'm a little intimidating by the washing cleaning routine. I am on day 3 of cloth diapering. How do I find the max load my washer will take? So yeah, it is totally overwhelming. I get it. You're getting different information from 1,000 different sources and everything is super confusing. That's why I have a whole rant about it next week on YouTube. I'll be doing one of these over there, and I'm like preparing a whole thing where I'm going to go through all of the reasons why it seems so difficult and all the ways that you can kind of make those things a little bit easier on yourself. Still working through it, but I'm going to do it for YouTube next Friday. Anyway, so yeah, totally intimidating. I understand that 1000%. You're not alone. Everybody finds it intimidating at first. Even I did when there wasn't as much variation. All of the information on there was bad, but there wasn't a lot of variation when I started. It was all like, use a drop of natural detergent and everything will be fine. And everybody had stink issues and whatnot. But even then, I was overwhelmed just by the little bit of information, so I get it. And I'm rambling. I'm sorry. So, how do you find your large, right? You're looking for your large, the max load of my washer. Okay, so if you go on to how to wash cloth diapers in the website, this sheet is also in the files, but I really recommend going to the website and clicking on how to wash cloth diapers for beginners, because that's going to explain how to do all this, like, as best as I can over a post. So you're gonna read through that. You're gonna grab this sheet if you haven't already. It's possible you have. And then you're gonna find, usually washing machines somewhere on the manual or on the lid, you know, they have those stickers. It's gonna say a capacity. Usually it's in a cubic foot capacity. So it'll be like 3.2 cubic feet, 4 cubic feet, whatever. You're gonna take that number and you're going to drop it into the worksheet. So your small load is going to be 1 times that cubic feet. So say you have a 4-foot cubic washer, your small load is 4 pounds. Your medium load would be 2 times that number. So your medium load, if you had a 4 cubic foot washer, would be 8 pounds. And again, by 3 for your large size. So that would be 12, right? 4 times, yeah. 12 pounds for your large if you had a 4 cubic foot washer. So that's why it's important to look at that, because some people will have, you know, a tiny little apartment washer, looks like a regular washer, but it only holds like 2.5 cubic feet. So their max load is like, what, 6, 7, 7.5 pounds. Whereas other people have like a 4.5 cubic foot washer, so their max load is like, what, 12, 13 and a half. So those two people can't put the same amount of diapers in their washing machine and get the same amount of water. So that's why it's important, and I hope that cleared up how to do it. Whew. Okay, let's keep rolling. And by the way, I just want to pause. If you're like brand new to cloth diapers and brand new to this Facebook page and you're watching this going, that's okay. We're talking about pretty, you know, far down the road stuff of when you know what you're buying, you know what you're getting. Now you have to figure out how to wash it or whatever. One step at a time. Don't get freaked out by us talking about capacities and stuff like that. One step at a time, okay? Also, at the newborn stage, how many inserts should I put in pocket diapers? I currently have the microfiber ones, but I'm getting the bamboo soon. You don't have to worry quite as much at the newborn stage because, and can somebody let me know if you guys can hear me? I'm worried I'm rambling, but I'm not seeing any. I can't hear you, so I think it's okay, but just let me know. Newborn stage, you don't have to worry quite so much because they're kind of like pee machines, right? They're like feeding constantly and peeing constantly. So you're going to be changing so frequently that that and their bladder is like a peanut, right? There's going to be less output, to put it in the term I prefer, but there's going to be less output and you're going to be changing so frequently you don't have to worry about it too much. It's usually around when you slide into that 2-3 month mark that you might, if you have a heavy wetter, need to boost. It depends on every baby, of course, how often they go, how much they feed, and so on. But yeah, don't stress about it too much at the newborn stage. Start with 1, go from there, is my answer. Shh, dogs, sorry. They're barkers. Someone must have walked by. How many diapers should you have to begin with? It depends on your lifestyle and your baby. So I also have this in the group files that has a link to an article to help explain it if it seems crazy, but it's not too bad. So it depends how old your baby is. So if they're a newborn stage, infant stage, baby stage, toddler stage, because how often they'll be going to the washroom will change as they get older. Usually they go to the bathroom less frequently, but they bathroom out more. And how often you plan to wash. So if you're washing daily, obviously you'll need a lot less than you would if you were washing every 3-4 days, right? So this will help you kind of figure it out. So if you're, newborn stage and you're planning on washing every other day, you're looking at about 10 to 12 diapers, and you'd want at least like 3 diapers to cover off that time when you're washing and drying. So all in, you're probably looking at about 15 diapers. But that, again, that's going to change how often you wash, how old baby is, and so on, how many babies. So if you're having twins, congratulations, you just double this number. Hope that makes sense. It's in the group files. It's also on the website. If you search in the little magnifying glass thingy, how many, that'll pop up as the first result. It has a little abacus on the picture. Hi, your ebook was so helpful. Thank you. I learned I have soft water and detergent buildup was causing my smell issues. Yep, so common. I've changed my wash routine and individually sprayed and rinsed out every insert. You are on fire. We exclusively use pocket diapers twice now. Even though I'm positive they have no suds when I use them, I'm still dealing with some stink. Will it take many washes in a corrected cycle for the smell to go away? Shouldn't if it was detergent buildup. As soon as you get rid of the buildup, it should be fine. Do I need to strip them? Not for detergent buildup. Stripping would only be for minerals, which is not an issue for you, or products like softeners, oils, that type of thing. Could there be something else in my water that's creating stink, like chlorine or something? With soft water, not really. Chlorine smell. Interesting. I'm so over stinky diapers after putting so much work into them, making them less stinky. SOS. Totally understand. And you're a rock star for, sticking with it and solving your issues and reading the handbook. You're a rock star. So good on you. I understand it's totally hard. I wish I knew what kind of smell it was, because you shouldn't be having any smells. If you're checking and there's no detergent buildup, but you're still getting an ammonia smell once or maybe not on every diaper, it could just be baby. It could be, especially if they're the overnight diapers and baby's a little bit older, it could just be that, the conditions of the diaper overnight and baby being older and so having, wet from the day. That could be the cause. It could be dehydration a little bit. There's a lot of causes for ammonia. If you're getting like dirty smell, that could be that maybe you overcorrected a little bit and you need a little bit more detergent. I need to know a little bit more about the smell. If you're having a chlorine smell, that could be your water. I'm not really sure. Do you use a lot of bleach in your regular laundry? I just need to know more about what type of smell it is. I know that's weird, but the type of smell really does work. And that's why people will ask me if they can put scent boosters and essential oils and that type of thing in their laundry. Usually it won't harm things, but you're kind of losing that ability to pinpoint when there's a problem, because smells are your first defense. You want to be able to smell a problem before baby gets a rash, and that's what tells you there's a problem. That's my little rant on that. But yeah, thank you for being a reader, by the way. That's amazing, and you're a rock star for doing all that. Hit me back with the type of smell if I didn't answer your question enough, which I probably didn't. I was overwhelmed last night reading about needing to sanitize and strip diapers. Do you always need to do this with pre-love before using? You always need to sanitize diapers when they're used because you don't know what's going on. You don't know about yeast infections, about just any type of infection that could be passed on, viruses, that type of thing. So you do want to sanitize always. Do you need to strip them? Not necessarily. So you want to kind of go on it by a case-by-case basis. If you get the diapers and they're dingy, they kind of have a funk to them, that type of thing, you'll probably want to strip them. But if they look brand new, they're perfect condition, you might not want to. It's totally that way. You just want to strip if you think that the person's wash routine maybe wasn't right. So stripping is kind of like if you sanitize and you strip, you're kind of setting back to zero, right? So that's the logic. But the only part that's necessary there is for the sanitation, because that's a health thing. I determined the weight of my diapers after my pre-wash. My thought was that the washer will weigh them damp already for the main wash. So should I too? Does that make sense? Did I do that correctly? Yeah, that's perfect. Sounds like a pain in the bum. If you did it, then that's perfect. That would work out amazingly. That's awesome. Oh, thank you. It's a stinky barnyard smell when they're soiled, and they smell kind of like they were hanging out in a really windy day when they're dry, even though I don't hang them outside. I don't know if that makes any sense. That does make sense. So you may have overcorrected a bit. Which is fine, and that's like the easiest thing to correct. It's way easier to correct too little detergent than it is to correct too much detergent. So just try bumping that detergent level up a little bit. If you want to get rid of the smell first, I would just do a rewash first at your current level. Don't increase it if you're rewashing. But if you just want to keep going forward, then just bump it up. Just like, we're talking a small amount, and that should take care of the problem if it doesn't come back. But yeah, it's probably just an overcorrection on too little detergent, which is so much easier to correct. So don't overcorrect either, but yeah. I hope that helps. And thank you for putting that in. So yeah, and determining the weight of your diapers after your pre-wash is perfect. Yes, we can hear you. Thank you. I just have visions of me sitting here, blah, 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 and it's like dead silence. So I'm just a talking bird head. What detergent would you recommend? The detergent that you can use, that you like, that kind of meets a few requirements. So it needs to have surfactants in it. I talk about this constantly, but sorry. I don't know why, but every time I'm on here, I get a little misty nose. It's weird. I'm sorry. Sorry, what was I talking about? Detergent. Okay, so you need to have surfactants in it. So it can't be like a homemade soap or a commercial cloth diaper soap, because that won't have any surfactants. That will just have like soap ingredients, like water softeners and sometimes actual bar soap. Difference between a soap and a surfactant is a molecule that has like two little grabby hands. One little grabby hand will grab the dirt, and the other little grabby hand will grab the water, and it will be flushed away with the water. Soap doesn't do that. Soap kind of encapsulates the dirt, and it can make like a film on top of things. The number one enemy of cloth diapers is a buildup of any sort, so you don't want soap to build up on your diapers. So your detergent must have surfactants. Most commercial detergents will have surfactants in them. You don't have to worry so much. It also, if you have an HE machine, most detergents nowadays are HE, but some aren't, so just check. If you have an HE machine, get an HE detergent, because non-HE detergent is too bubbly for HE machines, and it has trouble rinsing it away. Yeah, that's basically it. Any detergent that fits that description that you like and want to use. Oh, and sorry, big one, the biggest one that I totally forgot. No fabric softeners. So you want to stay from anything that has like, with the added power or added freshness of Downy, or baby soft detergents are a key tip-off that it has the fabric softener in it. Usually you'll know if it has fabric softener in it because it's expensive, so they want to like publicize that, so it'll be like super soft on baby skin, or super soft, or with the added power of fleecy, or whatever it is. So no fabric softeners. It must not be a soap. It needs to have surfactants in it. Other than that, go nuts. It can be plant-based, it can be whatever. Tide is kind of the standard, and that's all Tide's original to Free and Clear or whatnots. Tide is a pretty good standard. If you're looking for something a little bit more natural side, 7th Generation is really great. BioClean and all are okay. They're a little bit on the weaker side, so just watch those if you have super hard water. Just watch those a bit. But in general, any detergent that meets those 3 things is a-okay. And you'll hear a lot of stuff on the other groups about it needs to have enzymes and powders better than liquid, and they're just trying to correct for not measuring things out properly. You don't need to pay attention to that. Enzymes are normally for grease. Unless your baby has crazy bacon poops, you're fine. Powder, the only thing that detergent makers have anything different for I'm stuttering here because I'm so like, but the only difference is powder is better for rough soils like dirt and debris. Liquid is better for pre-treating and that type of thing. That's the only difference. They're still the same thing. They don't rinse out differently or what. Aside from if you put way too much in your washing machine, the little pellets of soap for the hard soap may rinse out a little bit better because they're actual pellets, but just measure your routine. Because you're still going to get detergent buildup even if they wash away like that. Okay. Rant over. Additional info. Pretty new, just bought 22 diapers, start different kinds, and 6 are brand new. I wish I knew names here. Additional info, I'm pretty new and I just bought 22 diapers to start different kinds and only 6 are brand new. If you're the one who is asking about how many to use, 22 is a good number. Again, depending on how many babies you have and how often you plan on washing and how old baby is, 22 will cover you off in most situations. So yeah, you're probably, especially if you're washing every day, even with every 2 days for every day and a half for a newborn, you should be fine, but check the chart. Sorry. How many people are here? We have 20 people watching. That's amazing. You guys are awesome. You guys are so awesome. They smell fine, look good, pretty newish. Yeah, so just sanitize and you should be good. You won't need to strip. If you think they're fine, then don't worry about it. Thank you. You're welcome. Again, I don't know your name, though. I don't know who to say thank you. Powder or liquid, whatever you prefer. Measure it out and you'll be fine. What's the difference between mineral, plant-based, and synthetic detergents? Not much. You would think more. It's more marketing than anything else. Yeah. So okay, talking about surfactants again. Your synthetic detergents, the surfactants will be made from petroils and stuff like that. So like gas, basically, like oil. Whereas the plant-based detergents will kind of take natural oils like coconut oil and that type of thing, but then process them so much so that they become surfactants too. So yeah, it's not a plant when you get it. It's been processed so much, it's still a synthetic ingredient, but they don't call it synthetic because it's plant-based. Mineral, I don't know too much enough to comment that. I've never heard of mineral detergents, but if there is a mineral detergent, hit me back with a photo of the label and I'd love to learn more about it. But yeah, plant-based to synthetic, not much of a difference other than where the original source was. And that's why everything fails EWG, because if you have a detergent that works, then it's going to be chemicalized, if that makes sense. I had to significantly scale back on my detergent from the measured amount. Okay, as I was getting buildup, it is possible that my diapers can still get clean. Yes, 100%. In my mind, you have a water softening unit, and your water is probably softer than 25 ppm, which is always a huge problem. I think I need to go and figure something out for you guys, because under 25 ppm, you really have to use very, very little bits of detergent, and it gets sketchy. Use as little as you need to. If you find that you're really worried about it, add as little as you're comfortable with and add additional rinses. I know it's a pain in the butt. But yeah, you should be fine because your water is also cleansing. So like along with the soap, it's boosting the soap up basically. So as long as it's coming out smelling clean, you're good. Don't worry about it. It's just your water type is difficult. Diaper rash cream. How do you know if it's okay to use on your cloth? This is a whole thing. Everything seems to be a whole thing. I guess that's what happens when you've been doing it for 6 years. But okay, so rash creams. Let me get into it. Back when I started, everybody was like, don't use Vaseline, don't use zinc-based cream. So your Decitins, your Penitins, that type of thing. Cool. Then like maybe like 2 years ago, people started saying, hey, zinc is fine. You just like scrub it out and you'll be totally cool. Why did that change? I still see the stains on all the diapers. Like, what? So I decided to do an experiment, which is on the YouTube channel. I took a bunch of pre-fold diapers, cotton pre-folds, and I put like different types of baby creams on them. I did Vaseline, I did a Desitin, I did two other baby safe, like cloth diaper safe creams, and I put it on, washed them 25 times in a row along with one plain one just as a control, and then tested the absorbency by dropping water on them. On natural fibers, Vaseline was totally fine, no interruption whatsoever. Zinc-based cream, slight slowing down a bit, but they were fine. P.S. The whole part I should have mentioned to this before was that the only reason that you would not want to use any diaper cream of sorts is that it won't wash away and it'll make a buildup. So that's what we're trying to avoid. We want to make sure it doesn't affect any absorbency. So Vaseline didn't affect the absorbency. Zinc did it like a minor amount. And then one out of the two cloth diaper safe creams completely destroyed the absorbency. So yeah. So I am going back now. There's been a little bit of a delay because of video problems, shooting the videos that I was doing, but I think I'm just gonna ignore that and try to do it anyway. I want to do it on synthetics to see if, because the Vaseline and the zinc does behave a little bit differently on synthetics, so I'm going to go ahead and do it on synthetics, as well as I'm picking and choosing some cloth safe diaper creams to like see if I can kind of narrow in on the ingredient that we had the problem with the original bad diaper cream, which was Baby Balm, by the way. It's a Canadian company. Sorry, Baby Balm. So yeah, so that's the whole experiment. So what I get from that is, if you're using all natural fibers, so cotton, hemp, and bamboo exclusively, use whatever you like. If you are using synthetics like pocket diapers or whatever, spidey senses tell me that it's going to be a little bit different. So I would stay away from Vaseline and zinc for now. Jury's still out. And anything else without those two ingredients is totally fine. Pending, because there's going to be another ingredient at the end of this that I'm going to find, and we're going to nail that down, and that will be the one to avoid. But for now, that's my advice. Sorry it took so long. Oh, and how do you know? Just check the ingredients for Vaseline or zinc. Without getting into way too much detail, have you met me? You always get into way too much detail, which is part of my problem, and I apologize for that, because I probably freak so many people out. But I try to give all the detail, and then here's what I'm saying. My baby was doing fine with cloth for a few months, and then started having rashes. Going to show a pic at her appointment later today. Good. I filled with a ton of my wash routine. Nothing helped. Yeah. finally tried adding fleece liners and hoped that would at least temporarily fix it, but she got rashy even with the brand new liners. I don't want to give up on cloth, but it's so frustrating. Okay. So rashes can be 1,000 different things. It can be moisture, which is the most common cause, which would be, you know, your liners. I'm hoping you're meaning liners and not inserts. So give me 1 second. So when I say liner, I mean this, like a thin piece of micro fleece and not an insert. So when I say liner, I mean this, insert, I mean the actual absorbent part. So using a liner will help with moisture problems. Using a good barrier diaper cream will also help with moisture problems. If that doesn't fix it, it could be something else going on. It could be 1,000 different things. It could be food. My daughter had horrible, like instantaneous burns on her butt every time she ate yogurt. It took me forever to figure it out. I had to do like a food diary and whatever. It was terrible. But it could be food. If you're breastfeeding, it could be something you're eating as well. It could be fabrics even. It's very rare, but some babies are very sensitive to the synthetic fabrics. So your pocket diapers, your fleece liners, anything synthetic, that's totally a possibility. It could be so many things. It could be the detergent that you're using. It could be any products that you are using, the diaper cream that you're using. It could be so many things. It's good that you're going to a pediatrician. It could be yeast. That's a big one. Yeah, it could be so many things. Talk to your pediatrician. Don't worry so much about your wash routine. If your diapers look clean and they smell clean, don't naturally assume that it's something with your wash routine. I would look at the other things first, just because normally a rash is not going to be your first line of defense. Your first line of defense is going to be smells and anything that looks dirty. Yeah, so I don't know if that's very helpful, but I hope it gives you some ideas to kind of narrow it down. It's tough. I feel for you. Baby rashes are not fun. Nobody wants to see their baby with a sore bum. It's not fun. For now, what you can do to kind of help out a little bit every time that happens, what I used to do when I didn't know what was going on with her, I would put on a good thick cream, and then I would put cornstarch over top of it, and that kind of like let that extra barrier be there. It kind of like made it like thick and cakey. It still wiped off. It wasn't a big problem. Won't hurt your diapers at all. That might be a partial solution as well for now, a temporary solution. What is EWG? The Environmental Working Group, I think is what the acronym is for. They're like this, it's a nonprofit organization, and they look at common household products, makeup products, hair products, that type of thing. And they kind of give it an evaluation based on how environmentally friendly and how transparent the ingredients are. Pretty much everything fails because everything we use has some sort of processed stuff in it. I do appreciate them for other stuff. Like when I was choosing baby products, I was totally going on EWG and finding the ones that had a fairly decent score. But for detergent, for cloth diapers, where not getting them clean means your baby has painful rashes and problems and smells, and it's just an awful situation. For that situation, going with the chemical versions, you can go plant-based if it makes you feel better. Going with the chemicals that actually clean the diapers properly and don't harm your baby that way, I pick that way. Because the chemicals will, harm things over the long time, but in the meantime, your baby has a painful, sore, rashy, bleeding bum. So yeah, that's my take on it. What is your recommended type of hamper? Do you suggest rinsing, wringing out, and air drying every diaper before placing it in the hamper? Lastly, do I wash and air dry the pail liner wet bag every wash day? So it depends on how often you want to wash. First of all, do I recommend, hand rinsing and air drying every diaper before it's washed? God, no. That's too much work for me. Cloth diapers should not be that much work. As far as I'm concerned, you spray the poop off, you throw it in the bag, that's it until wash day. That's my idea, and that's how I write everything. That's what you're doing. So it depends on how often you want to wash. If you're washing every day, you can totally get away with like something airtight like a diaper decor with a pale liner, or what's the other one, Ubi with a pale liner that, you know, totally cuts off. Your husband will be so happy because he doesn't even like get a whiff of anything. You can totally do that if you're washing every day, possibly every 2 days if you're in a cold climate and lots of ventilation in the room, but you're stretching it. If you're washing every 3-4 days, which would be my maximum, just to prevent any mold and bacteria buildup, then you want to go with something a little bit more airy, like a laundry basket with holes in it and a pale liner, or a trash can with a pale liner is perfectly fine too, like one of those ones that you push at Walmart, $10. That's what I did for the longest time. Or just a hanging wet bag, because wet bags aren't actually waterproof, they're water resistant. They do allow a little bit of airflow in there. That's why if you have something super wet in a wet bag and you scrunch it up and you put it in your diaper bag and you pull it out at the end of the day because it's been scrunched and munched, it's going to be wet on the outside because they're not waterproof, they're water resistant. So something that allows more airflow if you're washing longer stretches. And do you wash and air dry the pale liner wet bag every wash day? Yes, because there's still urine and soil on there. That's why you want at least 2, so there's always one ready when you're washing, because baby's not going to stop pooping when you're washing. Do you ever use felt liners? If yes, how do you use them? I've never used felt liners. I've never heard of using felt liners. I would assume it would be fine. My concern would be breaking up when you're washing it and also the color leaking out. But I am not a fabric expert at all. I do not sew. I do not work with fabrics in any way other than researching and doing cloth diaper stuff. So I really don't have a lot of information on felt because it's not really used all that much. If you want to test it out, if you can find, you know, a good liner to use out of felt, go for it. Unless you're talking about like wool felt. Is that a possibility? I'm thinking synthetic felt in my mind. But if you're talking about like felted wool, that's something else. If it's non-lanolized, like if it's just like you wash it in your washing machine, I think it might work if it's wool. But you don't want to have any repelling at all on a liner. You want it to be able to absorb. It could work well because it would have that stay dry feeling. I don't know how it would wash. It might hold on to the poop, but it would totally be worth testing out. I feel like some people have tried that before, and maybe there's someone here. Maybe we're lucky enough to have someone here who's tried that. A wool liner, let us know. Environmental Working Group, thank you. How do you know if you're overstuffing? My baby is a year old and a heavy wetter, sleeps through the night. Just started cloth diapering. I used 1 terry bamboo, 1 charcoal, and 1 hemp inserts in that order on top to bottom. Sometimes even that fails, especially in a pocket. Yeah, especially in a pocket diaper without a gusset. So you'll know you're overstuffing if you're getting leaks. That's your first tip off. Pocket diapers are hard because they restrict you and with the lining on top. So a pocket diaper, you're putting all your, I think I used this one last week to illustrate overstuffing. You only have so much room in between here. So that's where you get into trouble, because if you have too much in a pocket diaper, this part is going to push the elastic out of the leg crease. And that's the big problem with pocket diapers. So be careful about overstuffing a pocket diaper. It sounds like what you're using is probably the maximum you'd want to do with a pocket diaper. I think, especially with a charcoal bamboo, it's thick, right? So at that point, I'd want to go to something that works really, really well for overnight in a diaper cover. So you said heavy wetter. And a heavy wetter. Okay, so you'd want to go with something like, 1 minute, sorry guys. do a dance. All right, cover. You would want to go with something like this. All right. So I have two options for you. This first one is the one that will work well. You want to get yourself a hemp fitted diaper. This is the equable one that I recommend from Amazon. Amp has one as well. If you're in Canada, you can get them from local cloth retailers. There's not a whole ton of them. Can't think of any others right now. But a good hemp fitted diaper, you're going to snap this on baby. It's going to give you absorbency all the way around. And hemp is, of course, the best at absorbing lots. Has lots of absorbency in here. This one's made for nighttime. And a lot of people use it, and bulletproof. Fitteds at night were the only thing I could do. But with those, you're going to need a diaper cover. So it's just like a pocket diaper, but it has no lining. It's just the waterproof outside. These are a little bit more pricey than pocket diapers, but, and there's a big but, you can reuse them. So you only need one, and as long as there's no soil, poop on it, you can just wipe it off and reuse it again. So you don't need a lot of them. Probably one will get you through to wash day if your baby doesn't poop at night, which most babies don't. So yeah, get a good diaper cover and do a hemp fitted, or if you're kind of limited on funds right now, I totally get it. If you have some pre-folds, you can kind of jerry rig something for now until you can afford something a little bit better. Just get your, giant pre-folds out, and on the website, if you search for overnight, and I'll put some links in the description after all this is done as well. You can use a pre-fold and kind of make a fitted diaper on baby with lots of extra absorbency in the middle, just to get lots of absorbency in there, bring the absorbency all the way around, and then you also need a diaper cover for that. Diaper cover is going to be your savior because you can keep stuffing a lot better than a pocket diaper that has that inner lining that will push everything down on you. So yeah, and pocket diapers are usually made more generous because they don't know what you're putting in there, whereas a pocket diaper is made for the inserts it comes with, right? So that's my suggestion there. I know overnight is the hardest part. It was definitely the hardest part for me. Like, it took me forever to figure out the fitted thing. Yeah, way too long, way too many nighttime bedsheet changes. Way too many. Still. Okay. In terms of plant versus mineral synthetic, I was looking at a chart of detergents and I didn't know what mineral-based was. No problem if it doesn't matter. It says Arm & Hammer brand is mineral-based. For example, Arm & Hammer OxyClean. Huh. Usually the OxyClean ones are just a little bit of sodium, and I'm going to forget the second word. Basically like oxygen detergent, which I don't think they would classify as mineral. Let me check into it. Mineral and Arm & Hammer. I use Arm & Hammer right now, and I'm still washing overnight bedwetting pants right now. We had started to overcome that mountain, and then we regressed back. Hopefully it's the only regression. But yeah, I'm still using heavily soaked bedwetting pants, and I'm using Arm & Hammer. I do find it strong. Yeah, I used it at the beginning, and now I'm using it again just because it was on sale. Let me check into it. I'll see. I don't know anything about mineral detergent right now, but I will find out for you. It's interesting. Synthetic, mostly because we make a lot of blankets. Fleece, yeah. If you make blankets out of fleece, sorry, not fleece, felt, you'd probably know a lot more about the properties of it than I do. Basically, for a liner, you just need something that will absorb but still feel dry after. So you want it to pull the liquid down quickly and still feel dry after it's wet. Yeah, if you think felt can do that and you know a lot about it because you make blankets out of it, then fill your boots and let us know. I'd like to know. Yeah, it could use scraps for something. Yeah, why not? How many times do we wash cotton, hemp, bamboo liners before using them? Can you explain the wash routine to prepare them for use? Assuming we don't use detergent every wash. Okay, so your first cleaning will be, so I'm assuming you're doing new. So for new inserts, the only ones that you need to, websites will tell you to do natural fibers. You rinse wash natural fibers a bunch of times. So your bamboo, your cotton, and your hemp. Bamboo is so overly processed that you do not need, it's not, there's no natural oils in it whatsoever. It's barely even like bamboo anymore. So you don't need to wash that more than once. You need to wash everything once, even your microfiber and your synthetics, just to get the manufacturer lunch off, because you don't know what was there, right? So wash everything once. You don't need to wash bamboo more than once. Cotton, I've seen some issues with cotton pre-folds before where they are a little bit repellent at first. Test it, drop a little bit of water on it, see if it goes in right away. Cotton should absorb immediately, like there should be no hesitation. So just check, but in general, you don't need to wash more than once either. Hemp, you do. So hemp the way it's made, it does still have natural oils in it, and you want to break the fibers. So just the way hemp comes out, you want those fibers to get old and worn because it becomes more absorbent over time. Like progressively, even as you keep using them, it's going to get more and more absorbent. So you want to wash it several times, probably like 4 times before your first use, just to make sure it's really grabby. Because again, hemp has that, as we look at the fabrics, hemp holds the most, but it absorbs the slowest. So you really want to speed it up as well. So everything wash once. Hemp definitely wash 3-4 times. Cotton, wash it once and see, but you should be fine. After that initial wash, which, it's not going to be soiled, it's going to be fresh, so you don't have to worry too much about the washing part of it. You want to go to the website and get the wash worksheet and go to the section that says, how do I wash cloth diapers? And I really recommend you measuring everything. So you're measuring how many diapers you're washing how big your washing machine is, aka how much water will get into your washing machine, and then you're using that to figure out how much detergent to use. You also want to test your water, because hard water and soft water require very different amounts of detergent. So say I'm washing these 5 diapers and I'm washing one in hard water, I'm washing them in hard water, or I'm washing them in soft water. In soft water, you're going to use way less detergent than you would if you're washing those same diapers, same washing machine, everything in hard water. So it's different. So you do want to measure that as well. And I kind of walk you through how to do all that stuff, how to measure your water, how to measure your washing machine, all that stuff. I have a chart of how much your diapers, you can add up all your diapers and whatnot and see how much that will be. I have everything laid out there for you, and you can use the worksheet. If you find it like Japanese, I do have a I say that, I'm overcompensating. I do have like a full wash and care handbook that will kind of walk you through it a little bit more slowly. But that's paid. The wash worksheet and all that stuff is free. So just check it out on the website. That's what I recommend, because cloth diapers are the dirtiest things you will wash. They, a t-shirt, if you get a little bit of dirt on it, whatever you throw it in the washing machine, it's probably going to be fine. It's a thin layer of cotton or whatever. It's going to wash out easily. Diapers are thick, heavy, multi-layered sewn things that, are covered half in waterproof fabric, and then you're throwing human waste on top of them. They're dirty. They really need a lot more attention to detail, because if you don't get them clean, you're putting them on your baby's privates. It's an issue. So that's my spiel about that. I have a lot of reading to do. Thanks for all the information. You are most welcome. I hope I'm not overwhelming you again. I know it's a lot. It's a lot when you start cloth diapering. It's really not that bad. You kind of calm down a little bit and you're like, oh, okay. I don't need to worry about all of this right now. I know when you're in the group and you're kind of getting it all blasted at you, it's a lot, and I get that. But you'll be okay. It's okay. When you're washing before first time use, do you use detergent or simply wash without detergent because you're trying to increase absorbency? No, you do want to wash with detergent to wash away the dirt and soil, and for hemp you want to wash away the oil as well, which you need a detergent for. But you don't need to worry about it quite as much because they're clean, there's no soil in there. So even if you're off a little bit, it's not going to matter as long as the next wash that you do, I say that, and if you're using way too much detergent on your hemp for 4 washes, it would make a difference. But hopefully you've measured by then, and you know if you have super soft water that you're reducing your detergent for all of your laundry because you don't need so much. But yeah, don't sweat the pre-washing so much. You're okay because they're clean, but you do want to add a little bit of detergent. It does matter a little bit if you not so much if you have hard water and they're new, it's not gonna do much. But if you have very, very soft water and you bring hemp and you're washing several times, you can get detergent buildup right away. So just be careful. Always, if you have soft water, know that you have the pain in the butt and you're going to have to err on the side of less. Less is more. When using RLR, why can't I say that the first time? RLR, how many washes? My stacked washer dryer is 3.9. I have to do it before they're soaking in the bathtub, around 60 inserts. When using RLR. Okay, so you're asking, when using RLR, how many washes? My stacked washer is 3.9. I have to do it after they're soaking in the bathtub, around 60 inserts. So you're soaking your inserts in RLR, and you're asking how many washes you have to do after that. 1. You're fine. They should be clean and fine after that. No problem. RLR is going to get stuff out of them, so you don't have to worry about that. And it doesn't have a smell like the bleach soaking or anything does. It's very gentle. You don't have to worry about it. Do I have to separate the microfiber inserts from your hemp cotton? Nope, not at all. You're fine. Nope. I think at one point somebody had recommended that on some random blog because of the natural oils in natural inserts, but no, you're fine. In that logic, you would have to separate everything that you used with a diaper cream from silly. I don't like people making up silly rules for no reason. Drives me crazy. Make it as simple as possible. I make it complicated enough in the areas that need to be complicated. I don't need to add extra rules. Okay. I have pre-loved diapers. I'm going to do a bleach soak, then wash. Good. I did the worksheet, and I'm stuck at how much detergent to use for different load sizes. It just says 30 ml per load on the back of the diaper. I have moderate water. Okay, so don't worry about what the diaper says. The only thing you want to be cognizant of is your, how can I think of the word right now? Your warranty. So if they're saying, don't use bleach because of your warranty, whatever, you want to think of that. But you're doing pre-loved diapers, so you don't have to worry about any of that. So wash them properly. Don't worry about what the diaper says. Okay, so for some reason I have stuff in here. Let's see if I can do your worksheet. Step 3, not sure. Okay, so if you can get me the weight of your diapers, I could totally do your worksheet on one of these. But I have pre-loved diapers. I'm going to do a bleach soak. How much detergent for the load sizes? It just says 30 ml. Okay. I have moderate water and a 4.5 cubic foot washer, so I don't know how much to use for the loads. Okay, so wait. Oh, step 1. Okay. Sorry. Okay, you have 12 pounds of diapers. And I couldn't have picked a worse pen. 12 pounds of diapers, 4.5, which means your small load is 4.5. Your large load your medium load would be 9, and 13.5 for your large load. Oh, sorry, bottle. Okay. Great. I love when they do weird stuff like that. 30 milliliters. What detergent? I hate that. Into, let's say, cups. Sorry, bear with me 1 second. I'm also Canadian, so I should know this, but okay, so 30 milliliters is, say, 2 tablespoons. So 2 tablespoons per load. Doesn't have anything else on there. Is this maybe BioClean? This BioClean. Okay, we'll say 2 tablespoons. If they only give that, I would assume that it was medium. And moderate water. Going to confirm actual. Okay, so we'll say you have moderate water. Okay. Well, what else do I need here? So let's say if it's 2 tablespoons, I really wish they would give you more information, but let's say it's 1 for small and 3 for large, although possibly 4. 3.5 for large. We're kind of guessing here. You know what? That's the thing though. If you go through this process, don't feel like you have to get everything completely like down to the decimal point and like you're already measuring things. You're already so much further ahead than most people doing this. You're gonna know a lot more and be able to correct it because you're going through this process. Don't sweat it too much. You don't have to have it exactly perfect. You're already doing the bulk of the work and your margin for error is so much lower. So just, yeah. Okay, so we have 12 pounds of diapers. That's a good size large for your washing machine, so that's good. If your washing machine is manual, you want to pick large, if it like makes you choose the load size. If it's HE, then you don't have to worry about that. So that's it for your load size. You want to do a large, because always go up if you're a little bit over because you want that extra water. So what do we have here? You're about a medium at the 2 tablespoons, so that's good. So you're just over a medium load, but you have moderate water, so you're okay. I would do the 2 tablespoons. So size large load, you have a medium load for your detergent, which would be 2 tablespoons. You don't need to reduce or increase because you think you have moderate water. Do check that just to make sure, because if you have hard water, you're going to want to bump that up for sure because you're already a little bit over, okay? So you keep that the same. So that's it. So for moderate water, you're fine. I would do 1 large load, choose large. You're going to do 2 tablespoons. Okay, so you're going to first do a rinse and spin. Next, you're going to do a hot and heavy duty load, whatever cycle that is on your machine. Don't worry about the linguistics too much. A hot and heavy duty wash with line 2, and then another wash and rinse, and that's it. You're done. Dry. Does that make sense? If it doesn't make sense, let me know where I sped too fast or whatnot. I've seen people recommend weighing diapers when wet to get the exact amount for the proper wash routine. Baby isn't here yet, so I just go by your cheat sheet on the website. Perfect. Yep. Nope. Wet is good because they're going to be wet when you are putting them in the washing machine. They're going to be wet with urine and wet with, spray from poop and whatever. So that's the weight that you're going with. Don't worry that it looks small in your washer. You need all that water. Don't bulk. You need that water. So don't worry about it. Go by wet weight. You're fine. If you're using the chart, you're golden. That's perfect. Thank you for reading it. I just ordered a bunch of newborn all-in-ones, and now I'm rethinking of getting only covers and using pre-folds at first. Don't sweat it. In the newborn stage, why are you thinking about that? I mean, don't get me wrong, pre-folds and covers are amazeballs, but for a newborn, all-in-ones are perfectly fine too. Again, baby is going to be wetting so frequently and you're going to be changing so much, you don't have to worry about, soaking through or whatnot. You're using newborn diapers, so you don't have to worry too much about the fit. You should be fine. Don't worry about it. If you feel like you need pre-folds and covers, do that on your one sizes. Don't lose money. I mean, unless you can do a straight exchange and then do whatever you want, but don't lose money on your newborns. You should be fine, no matter which way you go. Makes sense. Thank you. Yay! I'm glad that made sense. That was fun. I was hoping to do more of these because if I can help you this way, it's a lot easier than trying to type it out and then I'm never on the group, and that's why I'm doing this. And yeah. When you recommend dry from the worksheet, if it's a pocket cover, is it preferred to line dry or use a dryer? Are certain diapers and covers you should never put in the dryer? I see lots of photos line drying. Is that the norm to do? I assume I will line dry all the covers and pocket diapers. So you can put your cloth diapers in the dryer. Your covers and any synthetic inserts and that type of thing, you do want to be careful about the heat. So you want to use your medium setting or lower, because they're plastic, right? So if dryers get hot, especially like the sanitized or even the hot cycle, it's super hot. So you can, wear things out over time. You can delaminate the PUL, you can warp the Velcro and stuff like that. So keep it to medium or lower. If you can, air drying your covers, again, better because they're not being exposed to that heat. They are very heat sensitive. So that's the only rationale for it. Wool, you definitely don't want to anywhere near a dryer. you have to not even hang dry, you have to flat dry your wool. But other than that, go ahead with the dryer, go ahead and hang dry. It's totally your preference. I live in Canada. I would not be able to cloth diaper if it weren't for being able to use my dryer, although I did always air dry my covers and my wet bags just to like prolong their life, because over time you are putting heat on them, so it's not good, but they won't fall apart immediately or anything like that. You're good. Where are we? Oh my god, we made it to 11 already. That seems so fast. And I didn't stop talking the entire time. That's incredible. 13 people are still here. You guys are awesome. I hope that was helpful. If nobody has any more questions, I think that's it. I really, really like this. I hope it's being helpful. I hope I've answered the questions in a way that's understandable. I know I'm so deep into it that I can kind of get a little crazy at times, and call me out on that. Let me know if I'm going too fast, if it sounds scary or anything like that. Yeah. So yeah, this is awesome. I'm going to do another one of these on YouTube next week. I'm not able to do it simultaneously, which is a bummer. So I'm going to try and do one on Facebook and then one on YouTube, one on Facebook, one on YouTube every week if I can. But when I'm on YouTube, I'm going to do a little pre-rant. So next week on YouTube, I'm doing, hair cloth diapers so hard. And I'm going to go through all the reasons why it seems so difficult and overwhelming and crazy, and how you can kind of overcome those hurdles and, release the anxiety a little bit. So I'll talk about that in the beginning, and then I'll be doing question and answers as well. I'll put a link in the description today. If you are on my email list, you did get an email about it yesterday or the day before. I can't remember. So please check that. If I'm in your spam folder, slide it over if you want to know about these things, because I'll try to send, not too many, but I'll try to send like a list of when these are happening out to the email list. And I know a lot of you on Facebook are on that list. So one last question. I have super soft water. How do I figure out the detergent amount? You go to the website and go under how to wash cloth diapers for beginners. And I'm going to go through everything step by step there with you to figure, you already know you have how to, okay. You're going to look at how many diapers you're washing. You're going to look at your washing machine, and you're going to factor in that water component. And you're going to kind of mesh in the perfect routine for you. I'll put a link once all this is closed in the description for you to check that out. But it's the How to Wash Cloth Diapers for Beginners link that I'll be throwing in there. And there's a worksheet with that. So yeah, the worksheet is also in the group files. Blah, blah, blah. Thanks so much for your help. You helped tremendous. Thank you. Thank you guys for coming. This is awesome. I love this. It helps me work out things. I have a new thing to research, mineral detergent. Thank you, the person that mentioned that. I don't see your names. That's amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you again. One more question. How many inserts at 3.9 washer capacity? depends what kind, it depends what you're using them with. There's a chart in that article that I just talked about, the how to wash diapers for beginners thing. There's a little table in there that will help you figure out how much they weigh, and then yeah, you can figure it out that way. I can't remember the exact measurement. It's like 0.37 of it. I can't remember. It's in that chart though. I use the public laundry dryer at our apartment, and every time I use it, my cloth diaper comes out as black. I was afraid of putting it on my daughter, so I washed them again. Why can that be? That's a good question. Either somebody's washing something funky, or there's like the grease from the washing machine. Check if it's repellent. I'd be worried that it's like a heavy motor grease or something. Just check on that. Yeah, I'd want to get that out. That may be a reason to strip if it's repelling and it's like a grease on there. Sorry that happened to you. That stinks. Worksheet is confusing me. I have it. Go through the article. Figure out your numbers if you can, and come back on the next chat next week on YouTube, or the next one on Facebook, and ask me your specific question, and I will help you 100,000%. Or you can post it in the group. The admins there are pretty awesome. I try to get in there as much as possible, but I'm not so great. And Facebook sucks at giving me notifications. Like, I literally get no notifications for anything. I don't know. And I'm not talking about like the pop-up. I'm talking about like if I go into Facebook notifications, there's like hardly, I get like the randomest stuff. It doesn't give me anything important. I don't know how to make that work better. Thank you for sharing your time and your knowledge. You are most welcome. Thank you for sharing your time. I know you're taking 0.37 for inserts. There we go. Someone nailed it. Thank you. God, I wish I could see your names. So yeah, thank you guys for being here. You are awesome. I can't believe you gave me enough to talk about for an hour. That's awesome. All right. I guess I'll let you guys go back to your lives now. I've been talking for an hour about cloth diapers. All right. You guys are awesome. I will see you next time, and I'll see you next week on YouTube, probably the week after here. Bye.